In Forum.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Good day. Welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. In your news today, Vice President Bharat Jagdeo does not share concerns that the government's speedy approval for oil projects in the Stabroek Block could outstrip the country's already thin monitoring capabilities. According to the chief policymaker for the oil industry, authorities have an implicit understanding with ExxonMobil and its partners that it will have as much time as may be needed to scrutinize the contest any and all costs associated with the block. Jagdeo reminded that since the government is not a co-manager, the Stabroek Block's expenses are looked at ex post. He noted, however, that there is no time limit for the examination of costs, though the Stabroek Block production sharing agreement ascribes a 2-year deadline for this exercise. The government of Guyana has received a loan from the Inter-American Development Bank to diversify its energy matrix with sustainable and cleaner resources. Part of the $21.1 million loan will be used to set up a 0.60 megawatt solar PV farm at Legwan, Region 3. The Guyana Energy Agency will be executing the project and has since invited eligible bidders to submit proposals for the procurement, construction and installation, commissioning and turnkey delivery of a solar PV power plant, inclusive of battery energy storage and transmission lines at Legwan. A 29-year-old Batavia village, Mazaruni River man is feared dead after the boat he was driving was hit by a fiberglass boat on Thursday in the Essequibo River. The missing man has been identified as Gavin Cox. According to police, they were told that Cox was no lone occupant in his boat, which was hit by a fiberglass boat operated by Mark Gonzalez around 19:45 on Thursday. Due to the impact of the collision, Cox was flung into the river and has not been seen since. And the government of Guyana has pledged support to the residents of Hillfoot Linden Soosdijk Highway, whose homes were demolished on Wednesday by the legitimate owners of the land. Central Housing and Planning Authority, in a statement on Friday, said it engaged with a number of persons who were residing at the location. Minister within the Office of the Prime Minister, Kwame McCoy, CHNPA Chief Executive Officer Sherwin Greaves and the CHNPA Director of Community Development Gladwin Charles were part of the discussions held at the Housing Authority's Brickdam Georgetown headquarters. During the meeting, the squatters were told by the CEO that each affected household will be offered a plot of land or a turnkey house based on their preference. And in other news, 45-year-old Orlando Charles, a pilot and businessman of Main Street, Georgetown, was slapped with 16 trafficking in persons charges and placed on a total of $1.3 million bail. Charles made his first appearance before Magistrate Crystal Lambert on Friday at the Bartica Magistrates Court, where he pleaded not guilty to the charges that were read to him. The charges allege that between March and May 2023, he trafficked 16 Venezuelan nationals between the Mazaruni River in Region 7 and Georgetown. Magistrate Lambert granted bail in the sum of $85,000 for each of the 16 charges, and the matter was adjourned to June 14th for statements. And 48-year-old Hamid Amin, called Pepe, was on Friday remanded to prison for the murder of his niece's boyfriend, 23-year-old Shivram Mohabir, called Vikash. Amin, a carpenter of Monrepo, East Coast Demerara, appeared at the Sparrandam Magistrates Court before Magistrate Alicia George. He was not required to plead to the indictable charge, which alleges that on May 29th, he murdered Mohabir, a mechanic of Triumph Sideline Dam. And to wrap things up, members of the joint services turned out in their numbers on Thursday to cast their ballots in the 2023 local government elections. A total of 9,093 ranks of the disciplined services, which comprise the Guyana Police Force, the Guyana Defense Force, and the Guyana Prison Services, voted ahead of the LGE scheduled for June 12th. Chairpersons of the Guyana Elections Commission, Claudette Singh, visited the various polling places set up at polling stations, Guyana Prison Service locations, as well as GDF locations. The GCOM chair reported that there was a smooth voting process. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burbies 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.